Welcome to Vanity Table Talk. Today we have a very interesting topic. It is the Shein RICO case. Have you guys heard about this case? Well, let's get to talking. So, I watched a interview on CBS of the founder of the Fashion Law Institute. And during this interview, the founder was asked two questions. So the first question was about the jurisdiction for this case, being that Shein is a Chinese company. And the founder responded saying that, okay, Shein is, the companies or entities that make up the company is originated in China. However, they do a lot of business in the US. They have a presence in the US, particularly in California. I think that's where the lawsuit was filed. So they, I think she even said that they had offices there. So they do a lot of business here in the US. Now, the other question was regarding the copyright violation, and does the law really protect against copyright? And she said in so many words that there is less protection for copyright in the US, and she's comparing that to other countries. She said, mainly in the area of 3D garments. However, she said there are some protections for like the 2D part of a garment, like, the front of a t-shirt, the, design per se. Also the fabric prints. And then of course, trademark, which, includes labels and logos and things like that. So that's really interesting to me because I've done just a tiny bit of research on trademarking and copyright, just enough for my own business needs. And oh my God, it's so costly to protect your intellectual property, your logos, all these things. And I'm really following this case like closely because, because of all the time and effort it takes to protect your brand. I want to see how that protection plays out in the courts, like in this case, because, any one of us that are creatives that create things, we do it on a regular basis without even thinking about it. But, we could easily end up in this situation where somebody's taking our creativity, allegedly, and profiting from it, and then we're not. And, that's like taking money out of our pockets. So I'm interested in seeing how the courts handle this. And, I'm looking at, okay, how worth it is for you to protect your brand, what that means if you should end up in court. So, I'm looking at that correlation between the two to see it costs all this money to protect, to get the trademarks and all that. But what is that doing for you in the end when you're trying to protect yourself? And you're going to court, like how does that play out in court? But anyway, take a look at the actual design of the graphic designers that filed this case. CNN has a really good article that displays the designers' actual designs in alongside the Shein design. I took a look at it and I'm like blown away. I'm blown away. I really want to see the result of this case. I hope it's not just settled out of court. I hope it plays out in court. I mean, I do want the designers to get their justice, but I wish we could, we as consumers and as creators, we need to see this play out. I know I do. But anyway, so one of the graphic t-shirts, okay, like that side by side comparison is just, wow. And even the print is like, okay, like I'm glad that I'm not a judge or even on the jury if there's like a jury trial or anything like that, because I would not get chosen because I have a thought already. Like visually, if you're just looking at it visually. But anyway, like I said, everything I'm saying is alleged. These are my own opinions. Okay, so again, CNN has a really good article that actually shows the side by side comparison, but it gets deeper. It's not just, as simple as that, even though that's not simple, but it gets much deeper because there is allegations of this company continuously. That's what where the RICO comes in. There, like it's being, kind of put out there allegedly that this is their regular operation and business practice to do this. We know design companies, like let's look at our favorite designers. We see them go through a process of design and then their fashion shows and then the releases, and it's a cycle from season to season. Like that's their practice. We can see in the news how they are hiring these designers. We see all the time where they hired a new designer, the other designer goes on to another competitive brand, and we see this happen all the time. This is some of their regular business processes that we get to see. At least we're seeing that there are true designers involved. But I'm just wondering, where are the designers from Shein? Like, where are their designers? We don't ever hear anything about that. What some of the stuff that's been revealed in these cases is that Shein is pretty much a tech company. And so a part of the alleged process is they're using technology to figure out the latest design online. And then a part of that data, you have to think, who's generating this data? Us consumers, our pictures, what we're wearing on our sites, we're posting on Instagram, we're putting information out there with our looks. Are they getting it from that? According to the information out there, allegedly, they're not designing this stuff. They're using these local manufacturers or in China to go out and create these things. That's a different business practice than I'm used to following fashion for many years. Now, granted, there are companies, even a part of a company where I have a separate company where I design. That's my company. I'm the sole proprietor of that company, but I have a partnership where we don't create the designs. I'm essentially a buyer and I buy from these vendors. I'm not sure who is creating these designs at these vendors. I'm just the buyer and I don't know. So a lot of that structure, it exists out there. So I feel like I need to do my due diligence to make sure that the pieces that I do select for buying is not something, that company didn't steal that design or, anything like that. So, but yeah, it's eye-opening, definitely for me, for all of the business dealings that I'm doing, even from my own business where I'm designing and also the business that I'm affiliated with where I'm buying. So, or I'm at least selecting the items to be purchased for that company. That's a lot. That's a lot. And now, like I said, it's deep. It's the business practices that are used to actually, come up with these designs and sell and make a profit from it. And, the fact that or I won't say it's a fact, but the allegation that they're putting out 6,000 pieces, items, whatever, per day. You have to have a serious team to come up with those kind of designs. That's a lot. I'm thinking as a designer from this angle, like, woof, it's hard enough. It was hard enough for me to come up with 10 pieces to call a collection. And even with that, I'm not going forward with all 10 pieces. It's so hard. But I'm one person, and there's other experienced people that are putting stuff out. And I'm trying to do I'm not trying to do something that everybody else is doing. Otherwise I'll just, buy that, But still, it's a lot. It's a lot. In that short period of time, like, wow. That's like an engine. Like, that's some automation. That's a lot. But then the other part of it is looking at their corporate structure. I think CNN covered more about that, looking deeper into their corporate structure, because their corporate structure, allegedly, is that it's several entities. So it's not like, and this, they're saying this could be something that's being done to avoid liability. And, and again, it's not based on the information out here. Nothing seems to be related to fashion, in the structure. Everything in the structure seems to be tech. So that's so interesting to me. I really want to see this stuff unfold. So I don't know how they're going to get. It's going to be interesting to see how they get any specific information, being that if you got all these entities, none of them are fashion related, and all of this stuff is fashion related. It's amazing. Yeah. The other thing, like I said, y'all, it gets deeper. It gets dark. These allegations get real dark. Okay, there's also accusations of, like, horrible labor practices, labor and human rights issues. Like, there's mention of, allegedly sweatshops and wage theft, happening in China. This is, alleged. Again, this is based on my research that I've read, but again, I can't prove any of this. Okay. I think they were in the process of trying to get their IPO, but that has been put on hold because there's investigations about these labor practices and human rights issues. Like I said, it gets dark. That is pretty scary, and I'm just going to be following this case, and as soon as I learn more, I will be discussing it on Vanity Table Talk. So make sure you go ahead and click that notification bell so you'll be notified of any future videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.